Good afternoon, everyone. This is Al King. I'm president of Local 6115 here at Minorca. And I'm just here to make a quick video to touch on the president's letter to the editor that has made some recent headlines today in local papers and potentially will make it to other media outlets in the coming days. All six of us Northern Minnesota mining presidents signed a letter to the editor pushing back against some of the biased and misinformation that's been reported on just the sulfate standard in general in northern Minnesota and just some of the issues that we have seen in mining in the last few months, but also in years and years and years of this discussion going on with no meaningful solutions to it. This is an issue that doesn't just affect mining. It's an issue that affects all the local municipalities, all the cities, and our entire state must meet this standard, a standard of that is almost unattainable for half of the people that it's supposed to be enforced on. And I just want to make this clear that the presidents and I'm not just a spokesperson, the leader, you can all call every one of them and they'll tell you all this stuff, that we're not here on behest of the company. We're not here for anyone else other than ourselves and our members and our communities and this state. We're all here. We love Minnesota. Most of us grew up here. We want to stay here. And this issue that is pushing up against KETAC right now with what's the variant standard that got rejected in the last couple of months is a real issue. It's a real sign that we need to have this discussion and not just keep talking back and forth, but actually listening to each other. There's been so much research that has been done on this issue. In Canada, there has been scientists that have studied it and come to where they have come to with their sulfate standard. There's been research and scientists here from all parts of the globe to research this issue. You can all go research this. I encourage all of you to do so. And I encourage all of you not to just take my word for it or the other president's word for it or the MPCA's word for it or Water Legacy or anyone else that is talking about this issue. I encourage all of you to research this yourselves and then talk amongst yourselves and to your officials and have a discussion on how we go forward. The biggest thing that we focused on with our letter that really came to our attention was an article in the Star Tribune that pretty much made it look like all mining is just arbiters of pollution. And this is just one issue that we're getting caught with. And I'm here to tell you that in this letter that we wrote, but also from myself and all the other presidents can tell you that us as union members and union leaders, it is our job to make sure that companies abide by the rules, the regulations, and the agreements that they have signed on to. And that includes environmental permits, environmental regulations. We are the people that make sure that they abide by those. And we do every single day, that we have a constant state of reporting, making sure that we are taking care of the land that we're working on. I also want to make it clear that this is not an attack on the tribes. This is not an attack on wild rice. My father is a Bois Forte band member, a card-carrying member. I myself identify with my Native heritage. This is an attack on any of those entities. And I want to push this even further, is that labor, Northern Minnesota labor, is committed to coming to the table and talking to the tribes and listening to them. I'm not just preaching to people something that I don't practice myself. I'm actively working on talking to all the tribes and everyone that are stakeholders in the land up here and coming to the table so that we're all in this together, because we absolutely are. All of our locals have different tribal members that are working in them. We care about everyone. We care about the land. All of us live up here. I feel like all of us are just kind of saying the same things when it comes to how much we care about the land up here, but it's true. We live up here. We have no interest in polluting, and we have no interest in coming for companies if they are doing pollution or actively polluting with their process. But I'm here to tell you that there's strict standards that we hold these companies to, and we make sure that they abide by them. And then when we see articles that are reporting that this is just mining waste and runoff and just different language that scares people and makes them think that the worst things in their mind, it's tough to have a real conversation with someone. And I don't blame people in southern Minnesota that don't know how we mine or what we do up here. They read an article like that and they have this picture in their mind that it's all we're up here doing is just scarring the land, and it's wasteful, and we can do this elsewhere, and it won't hurt northern Minnesota. But I'm here to tell you, this is a statewide issue. Here at Minorca, we received an unprecedented extension just due to the situation that the economy's in and where we're at with the layoff. And that was an incredible bipartisan push to get us that extension to take care of us. Here at Minorca at 6115, we have witnessed this state come together for a mutual goal to take care of us. This is a time for us all to do the same thing again, for us to have meaningful discussions on the MPCA standard, the EPA regulations, mining, labor, tribal relations, all of this stuff. It's time for everyone to have this discussion and do better and come together. I'm here to tell you that at the USW side and on the labor side, we are committed, I am committed to have an open door policy to try to establish a good relationship and a working relationship with the tribes and listen to and make sure that their voices are being heard, as well as everyone else that has a stake in northern Minnesota. And that includes people from down south in the cities that come up here and enjoy hunting season, enjoy Gooseberry Falls, enjoys everything. We all have to realize that we're all in this together. This entire state is in this together. And what we need right now is everyone to come together and have a meaningful discussion and not look at this as good versus bad, but this is just an entire state that has, issues that we have within some of our archaic permitting processes or some different standards that need to catch up to the science. It's time for all of us to come together and meet in the middle and just have a discussion. There is no good guy, bad guy here. This is all a state issue, and we can figure this out. I know we can. There are things like today, later on today, there's a meeting at the Minnesota Discovery Center to have conversations through RAMS and Iron Ore Alliance and USW, and I want to keep pushing this so that tribal leaders from all the different tribes of northern Minnesota can come up here and can talk to us on the labor side of things. And I'm hopeful that the companies will continue pushing those relationships and maintaining those relationships and realizing that, this is the land of their forefathers and they have a right to have a say in this. And no one's taking that away. We all deserve to have a voice in this conversation. And this is I encourage everyone to do so. And so this isn't me just speaking on behalf of the other presidents. I encourage you to reach out to all of them. I encourage you to do your research on this issue and just have a discussion amongst whichever community you come from on this issue. And I look forward to where this is headed, but I do think that it is an existential threat to mining right now with just the standards and just what's going on. We need everyone to come together in this state because I love Minnesota. And I want to make sure my kids can grow up here in a very prosperous Minnesota. And this doesn't have to be a political issue on either side. This is an opportunity for Minnesota to come together and fix this issue and any issue that comes at us when it comes to issues down in the cities or up north. This is one Minnesota, and I think it's time that we unite on this issue and not have biased articles on either side of this. So I hope that this conversation starts, and I will keep pushing it on our end to have this until we can come to a meaningful solution so that we don't have to be discussing this anymore.